So you've applied to study for a nursing degree, and a few weeks later you receive a response asking you to attend an interview. So what do you need to do in order to give yourself the best chance of performing at your best at the interview? Now, the university themselves should give you lots of information to help you to prepare for the interview, but here's a few tips to get you started. Now, the first thing you need to be aware of is that in addition to having a one-to-one interview, you might have to have a selection test, which is going to be basically a literacy and numeracy test. I wouldn't worry too much about that, but basically you can look online to see some sample tests and go through some of those to give you an idea of what to expect. You also might have to have a group interview, and that's where you're going to be with maybe 5 or 6 other applicants, and you're given a group task to do. And they're really looking at your communication skills and your teamwork skills. And so in terms of preparing for that, make sure that if you are in that situation that you contribute to the discussion, but you also allow other people to talk as well. So don't dominate the whole group session. It's not the case that the more you talk, the more they're going to like you, because an important part of nursing is listening as well as speaking. So that's what you need to do in terms of preparing for that. But in terms of the one-to-one interview, first of all, be prepared to talk about why you want to be a nurse. So you'll be wanting to talk about maybe some experiences that you've had in the past that's led to you to want to be a nurse, or maybe talk about something that you've observed or things that you've seen in the past that have led you to want to be a nurse. It's really about getting across your passion and your confidence, and really talking about the difference that you want to make as a nurse. So be prepared to talk about that. Secondly, it's really important that you research the course and the university that you've applied to. Now, obviously, you should have done some of that when you were initially applying to university, perhaps when you went to visit and so on, but it's worthwhile doing a quick refresher. So what's unique about that university that you've applied to in terms of the course content, the structure of the course, and also that university? Because I'm sure that you will be asked the question, why do you want to study nursing here at this university? So it's important that you're aware of what's unique about that course and university. So be prepared to answer questions on that. Now, in your mind, you might be thinking, actually, I prefer to go to a different university. But at this stage, you don't know which university is going to offer you a place. So you have to go to each interview with the same attitude, giving them the impression that that is the university that you really want to go to. Also, be prepared to talk about the skills and qualities that you need to have to be a nurse. So you'll need to be talking about communication skills, teamwork skills, having that nice bedside manner that all medical people or healthcare staff need to have as well. And giving across the impression that you're self-confident as well, that's really important. So those are the kind of things that they're going to be looking for in you, so be prepared to talk about those particular skills as well. What does a typical day of a nurse look like? Now, it may depend on the area of nursing that you're working in, but again, be prepared to talk about that. What does a typical day look like? And also, you may be asked 1 or 2 questions on ethical issues that are currently going on in healthcare at the moment. So keep up to date with what's going on in the news with the NHS and so on. That's also important. And also be prepared to talk about any work experience that you've done in preparation for going into nursing. So whether you've worked in a care home or a hospital, talk about what you did, what you observed, and what conclusions you draw from the work experience that you did. So that's also really important. And then it's just really important to practice answering those questions. So whether it's in front of the mirror, whether it's with a family member, yes, you might feel silly, but it will be worthwhile to practice your answers. Make sure that you're smiling, make sure you're giving a confident expression, and I'm sure you will be able to perform at your best in the real thing, as long as you have practiced very well. In terms of the practicals, make sure that you know exactly where you need to go for the interview. Make sure you've worked out how you're going to get there. If it's somewhere far away, it might be worthwhile to do an overnight stay, so you're not having to rush in the morning. So if you're going to do that, then plan around that. Make sure you know exactly where you're going. And also in terms of how you're going to dress, make sure you dress smartly, but the key thing is make sure you're comfortable in what you are wearing, because the university will want to see that you've made an effort and that you care about what you're wanting to do in the future. So there's just a few tips. I hope that's useful. And if you have got an interview coming up, I wish you all the best. Take care.